8.0 is here. It's been announced. The new expansion for Final Fantasy XIV Evercold is coming, and only 9 months away. I am so excited. Hello Void, it's Eldon, and today Final Fantasy XIV had their NA FanFest, and with it, they announced the next expansion. This is going to be a more impromptu video than I normally do, but I'm still quite excited for Evercold, and I just want to go over some of the stuff that got revealed. This video isn't going to talk about the system changes. Personally, I have a lot of thoughts about the system changes, so I want to make a more robust video about that. But this is just going to be a reaction to the story, the implications, and what they've shown us of the 4th. Alright, so we are going to the 4th. I'm pretty excited. I think a new shard, one that we haven't been to, is interesting. Hopefully they take more after Shadowbringers and bring us directly into a world in conflict, rather than do a Dawn Trail type thing where they kind of slow roll us into the expansion. Though considering the obvious peril of the 4th, I think that might be more than likely. We're also going to get a lot more flying cities, kind of like in Heavensward, which I think is going to be nice. With the new graphics update, I assume they can do a lot of interesting stuff, and I think having these flying cities, these flying islands, act as sort of microcosms of different environments will let us experience a lot more of a world in a much smaller time frame. Shadowbringers was basically just Eorzea in microcosm. This time I think we might be able to experience more of a complete world. This is also the start of the new saga. The Godless Realms saga. In Endwalker we did kind of deal with most of them gods, so I'm excited to see what they bring out with this. Godless Realms seems like an interesting name, and we have no information about it yet, but if I were to speculate purely based on the title, I think this could be dealing with a couple of different things. One, having no oversight, no direct oversight, especially with magic as volatile as it is in 14. We've already gotten some reveals with Halmarit talking about the instability, how everything's going to collapse, but having it be confirmed as truly godless, that's pretty cool. The other thing that strikes me as interesting is the use of realms here. If the saga name itself is truly realms, then this means that we're probably going to be visiting a bunch of the different shards. This is going to be our multi-shard saga to collect or visit all these different places and tie them together in one cohesive story. I'm excited. It also, to me at least, confirms Dawn Trail as sort of an interlude, which is another point against Dawn Trail's story having a chance of being pretty good. Hopefully, now that they have a set direction, we can get a little bit more stuff. This is also pretty clearly a winter expansion. I mean, it's called Evercold. So, is this the confirmed start of our seasonal expansion cycle? Of us having a different expansion for each season? In which case, hey, I know I've been bragging about a Void expansion, but who knows? Speaking of Void expansion, our new job is Reaper, which, I mean, I called way back when. I'm excited. I think Reaper is pretty cool, but it's interesting that we're doing Reaper in not a Void expansion. Could this have something to do with the end of 7.5? I think it's entirely possible. Though, okay, fine. I know this is still Cope. I know it's still Cope. You can tell me. But if we look in the trailer at 3 minutes and 30 seconds into that trailer, if we look just over the end in Final Fantasy, right there, right there, is a bit of purple. Okay, I know this is Cope. I know I'm coping. I know I am. But I mean, maybe it would be a cool Void. We don't know what the final zone's gonna be. Though, honestly, I don't think it's too likely that it's going to be a Void expansion or that we'll visit the Void. I mean, we might have like a trial series there, but that is to be seen. What I am interested, though, is a point that they badgered on about pretty repeatedly throughout the keynote. I think the look of this place is great. The fourth being this Nordic place, these individual flying cities with a bunch of different biomes all over this frozen waste is super cool. These massive, not technological giants are so awesome. They feel more like these Eidolon statues, which I think really plays into the Godless Realms aesthetic vibe. But they also mention one thing as they keep talking about all this art that they're showing off, all these different places, and that is the lack of snow. In the trailer, and this is pure speculation by the way, in the trailer we see ice form quite quickly, a cold front blow in and freeze everything, including this flower, before it even has time to wilt. I think what could be likely for this expansion is not us trudging around a cold waste, but trying to deal with an expanding cold front, some sort of individual or action that is pushing cold up and possibly freezing over different towns. In this way, EverCold could end up with us fighting against the fundamental forces of nature. That is actually one other thing that intrigues me about EverCold, which is we don't see us really fighting anything. Now, I'm aware this is just our teaser trailer, and much of it is spent more on tone setting than anything, but there isn't really an obvious antagonist. Well, actually, I guess there is. Those little orby guys, the floating crystals, and our big giants. I wonder, though, if those will form a coherent threat. Generally, I think faceless enemies make for a good distraction, but are rarely going to be our main villain. I mean, just like a Shadowbringers. There, we had the personality-less Sin Eaters, and then in the background, always weaving, we had Emmett making his moves, doing his things. In EverCold, we might see something similar, where we have to face off against these statuesque eidolons, these massive creatures, all while adapting to this new environment, eventually discovering some greater truth lying beneath, and who lurks there. Alright, last things I want to call, just right now, just off pure vibes. One, we're gonna get a shield tank job. I mean, he's doing the Ratatan shirt. That signals shield tank to me pretty clearly. Two, I think we're probably going to see some amount of a twist. They haven't revealed any cold areas, so hopefully we end up with some sort of twist on our normal formula. Maybe there's a really big area that comprises more than 2 levels. Hopefully they switch up the form in some sort. This does seem to be an expansion where it has really felt the pressure of having really stable forms for so long. So maybe we'll switch up the actual pacing of the MSQ, switch up the actual structure of it to make it a little bit more interesting. And lastly, and this is gonna be my coldest call, I know it's EverCold, our coldest call, we only see 2 other Scions with us in the trailer so far. We only see Alphino and Estinian. Now, I mean, come on, we're gonna get a good number of them, but I think the lack of showing many of our Scions is probably an allusion to us having either 1, a smaller party for this expansion, or 2, a more interesting party for this expansion. This is cope on my end, but we still have a lot of space open for some people we want to see back in the story. We can get Reen and Gaia back. We can get Reen and Gaia back. Please, please, Square Enix, please, Yoshi, just give me the lesbians. They're so cute. I need to see that. Never mind. It could be anyone, though. I mean, we have so many possibilities for different characters to show up because our party is so low. We need at least 8 people, and we only see 3 of them so far. So yeah, EverCold, it's coming. It's going to be really neat. It's going to be really cool. I'm excited for it. I think its focus on changing 14 is interesting, and it'll either be a massive disaster or something pretty good. but I'm inclined to believe pretty good because of internal biases. The story has a lot of potential. I think the setting is going to be really neat. I love our aesthetic so far, and, well, there's still a bunch of questions left, so I'll keep speculating as we go. But regardless, that will be me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed my takes and want to see more of them in the future, please subscribe. EVERCOLD is coming, and, well, I'm so excited. Anyway, take it easy, Void. It's a long road out there, so bundle up, because the road might get a bit chilly. Ta-ta!